it's Christina from Sunshine and Flora. So today's project is a little bit different. I am not doing anything to prepare for my cut flower gardening season. I'm actually doing some plant rooting, and so I thought this might just be a fun video to share with you guys. Now, I have been rooting plants for years. My mom is a huge plant lady. She, when I was little, had upwards of 60 plants in our house. And so she's basically the one that taught me that. And so a lot of the plants that I have around my house, I've actually taken cuttings and rooted them myself. And that's what I'm going to be doing today. I'm going to be rooting this one, which clearly you can see it is time. It actually was growing up the wall. It was right behind me here, and so that's when I knew it was time, but I had no idea that it was this leggy. So I might need to get a bigger jar to put it in. But anyway, these are all Pothos, different styles, and I forget the variety name of this, so I will put it up on the screen. This is one that I had previously rooted, and you can see it's super healthy. This goes right behind me here, but this is one I previously rooted, and it is just growing fantastically. This is one that I put in water about a year ago, and you can see that it is just full of nice healthy roots. So when it gets closer to spring, I will probably pot this up. I don't like to repot plants in our zone in the winter. The days just aren't quite long enough, so I like to wait till the spring when we have more natural light coming in during the day, and then that is when I pot them up. I don't put my plants under grow lights or anything, and so I want to make sure that we have a good long day of light. But this one is definitely ready to go. So basically all you need to take cuttings from a plant and root it are a scissors, a clear jar, and water. Now, I don't use soft water. I use water that has been filtered so that I don't have all of that salt in it from the water softener. That just tends to be better for the plant. So let me grab my scissors and I will show you how I do my cuttings. Okay, so I just like to use mason jars to root my plant. And when you do this, you want to make sure to have a clear jar because that's going to let the most light in as possible to get those roots going. And when you make your cuttings, which you can see I have plenty to work with, you don't want to just cut the leaves off. You need to have part of this stem because where these leaves are, where you take those off, that's where it's going to shoot the roots off. You can actually see the little nodes at each junction where the roots are going to come out of. So I'm going to go ahead and cut this back pretty drastically because I want this plant to rejuvenate itself because it's putting a lot of energy into these branches right here. I'm just going to set these aside and then I'll show you up close how I'm going to cut them. These are so long. I had no idea this plant was this out of control. So I'm cutting this right next to a leaf. I want to leave a little length on this plant. Let's turn it so you can see better. I'm going to cut it right here. So here's my remaining plant, which is still a nice size. So I have 5 of these to work with, so I should be able to get some really nice cuttings. Now when I do this, I want to leave a couple leaves on the top, but then I want a pretty long stem to go down to the water because that's going to give me multiple spots to get roots from. So I'm going to cut it right about here. I'm going to leave these 3 leaves on, and then I'm going to take the others off. Sometimes they break off pretty easily, but I'm going to go ahead and cut these off. Pull that one off the bottom. Less chance of breaking the stem. Now it looks like I have plenty of length on there, so I'm going to cut actually one section off, but I'm going to leave this node at the bottom. And I'll put this close up when I do the next one. But then basically, you're just going to put it in the jar and that's going to root. So I'm gonna get the rest of these cut, and then I'll show you what I end up with at the end. Now, I should also mention, just because I've already cut off of this one, because it's not a leaf on the end, I can still use this. So I'm probably gonna get 10 to 12 good cuttings from this plant. So let me get started. Okay, so here's what I ended up with. Here is all of the leaves and branches that I ended up cutting off of the plant. And you know, as this starts rooting, I can kind of mess with it and shape the plant too, but I like to have some height on it, and I like to leave some vines coming off the side. So I think that's gonna turn into a really cute plant. Now, this could be in the jar as long as a year. I mean, they're gonna grow really healthy. Like I said, this one has probably been in its jar close to a year. So I might let this grow all the way until next spring before I actually pot it up, but it'll go on my bookcase and it'll just be another patch of green to accent my decor. So I'm really excited on how this turned out. And my other plant that I cut it off of is gonna rejuvenate and start putting out new growth in no time. I just know it. So anyway, that does it for this project. The only maintenance that this needs is new water every week. That's it. And it'll turn into a brand new plant. So I hope you guys enjoyed seeing this simple task that I like to do during the winter months in my free time. I just thought it might be kind of a fun video to share with you guys. So anyway, that's gonna do it for this one. And the next one will probably be more about cut flowers. I am almost ready to share my whole garden plan for the year. So watch for that coming in the next week or two. We'll see you soon.